hiding down the ceiling now.
Oh, you're hiding.
Yes.
Yes,
please do.
Hello, Letitia, how are you?
Hello, good morning, everybody.
Good morning. Thank you for coming. This is going to be Greensheet 101, kind of getting everyone in the swing of doing the online Greensheet. Makes it a whole lot easier. I find that it's really helpful because it will tell you if you're missing anything. When you try to do it on paper, when you try to do the one on that's in dot loop, which is horrendous, I always tell folks that one that is on dot loop, think of that as just the placeholder to say, hey, don't forget to do your green sheet. The way to do the green sheet is either online or doing it by hand. And so my suggestion always is to do it online. It does the calculations for you. Also the idea that it alerts you when you may have missed something. Okay, so most of the time, my instructions to everyone is to go through dot loop. So I'm just going to pop over to dot loop by clicking my transactions, the messages, it's thinking. There's a direct way to go from there because when you're in that loop, when it eventually kicks in here, they now call it view details. We used to call it edit details. It's right underneath the address or the loop label. It's also where they've added the couple pieces of how you should be labeling it, what kind of transaction it is, what status is that transaction. That's also where the settlement dates will start showing up and the prices are showing up. So let's go ahead and just kind of pop in here to this one here that Jillian and I have used as our submitting for review, so you can see the different statuses and that kind of stuff. So this is the first piece that is new now, select a transaction type. Ours that we always do with everyone is listing paperwork, select the loop status. We're going to consider this one to be an active listing because this is the one that we have submitted off to the office so that we can show folks that your statuses show up right in front of the file that you're looking at, okay? This added piece here of view details, it used to be called edit details. They since changed the terminology. I don't know why. I liked edit details. I'm of that mindset that if it's working, don't fix it. So as we go into the view details section over here, this is where you can put in the information for the property so that it will pull into the paperwork. That's the property address in here. After your active listing gets an offer, you can come in here and put in the financials. Now I will tell you that in this financial section, not every piece that you put in here will pull into the system, but you can almost think of this as kind of your quick reference area. So if we came in here and added in the price of, let's just say $450,000, the commission rate, putting in the total commission rate here of 6%. I have the listing side, so I'm going to fill in my 3% here. Outside of the office, we know that we're offering them 3%. Do I really care that I need to put it in there? But if you'd like to put it in there, go ahead. Like I said, it's really not going to pull in directly to anything in here. If you wanted to put the, figure out your commission right here, you could. I think most agents don't do that. Putting in your contract dates here is important because these two pieces for sure will pull into when we do it for the green sheet. So we're going to click on the date right there. Let's go ahead and set this as our contract date. We'll make it now. So we'll do September 28th is the contract date. Our closing date, we're going to let's put November 6th out there as being our closing date.
Green sheet?
This is still the view details,
Okay,
but it would be putting those pieces in that are going to pull into the green sheet. Other than that, that's all you need to put in here. I tend to focus on what do you need in order to have it work for you. So that's okay. How are you? Good. We just got started, so don't worry about it. Just to bring Tracy up to speed, all I've done is gone into the loop. I pulled up a loop we went into the view details section, which is the same place that it pulls in your folks, it pulls in the property address, and we've just gone to that next section down here for the financials. We put in our numbers in here, we put the contract dates in here, and then all I have to do is come down to the bottom. Now there's a save at the top, there's also a save at the bottom. For this one, I always go down to the bottom because I'm now going to save on the right-hand side, because over here on the left-hand side is the submit to Greensheet. Notice at the top of our screen over here, we are at .loop.com. When I click the submit to Greensheet, it's actually going to open up another window over here, and it's going to pop us back over to kw.com.
That's where I get stuck. It doesn't open on me.
Really?
Maybe I have.
You might need to clean. What did we just learn? You might need to clean your cookies or clean out the cache.
Okay.
Clean those out in May.
It won't
Oh my
open
goodness.
for me.
Yeah, yours didn't open, it went to pop-up block.
That's what I was just
Cindy,
saying.
oh my
Yours-
gosh, that was quite the brain freeze,
Wrong.
sorry. Cindy was having the same
Wrong.
issue last
Wrong.
week down in Ben Salem.
Yeah.
So Cindy's was just spinning, is that what it does for you, spins?
Yeah, and then I ended up doing
Yes.
the old fashioned.
So she gets the
because-
same thing,
yeah.
spin, when she talked to them, because she came out to me at the front desk. I immediately opened up and boom, it let me in, no problem. The idea was, when she called them directly, they said, clean out your cookies, clean out your cache, and you were able to do that, and then it worked, and it worked
What
perfectly.
browser do you use?
Google.
Okay,
Yeah.
so see how up in the right hand corner it shows the pop-up blocked? That might be what's
Yes.
going on with yours too.
That could be the other thing, the pop-up blocked
That's
here.
probably what it
And
is.
then-
And
Also
most of many of the computers, the workstation computers, have that, so we're gonna always allow the pop-up. So yes, that would be the other thing, that if it doesn't open up that new window, I thought yours was getting to the new window and then just spinning. So if you click on it and it doesn't allow you, as you can see, we're now back over here at kw.com. It's popped us back over to the Greensheet area, and basically it's filled in the information for you. You can see over here, it pulled in those contract dates. It's giving you, and the trick is, anything that's that red box, pink box, red type of the pink box, needs to be completed. Any of the other pieces, you can add them in. Doesn't mean it's always going to save them, but you can add them in, and if you, if the extra pieces are in there, that's perfect. The more detail you can put in there for you, the better it is. Sometimes it's helpful to title, sometimes the office uses it as well, but focus only on the pink and red and you'll be good to go, okay? So here is the way that it has popped us in, and then we can filter in from here, okay? Let's backtrack a little bit because the notes are telling you, as the first instruction says, log into kw.com and hover over the technology bar at the top. So I can also go in just by going into kw.com, and it all is what you're used to, whatever works for you. I like going through the exact loop that you're in because it's pulling that information in for you, less for you to have to fill in and type.
But if like you do, if it's your listing, then I guess it'll pull over the information.
Right, yes, it should. So then let's just take a look right here. If I just went in by the Greensheet here. Now it's treating it as we're starting fresh. It's not associated with any one address at this point. So again, following the notes here, you're going to select Create a Greensheet. When you do that, you have several questions to ask. Are you the listing agent? So for this one, let's pretend no, we're not. We're going to pretend we're here the buying side this time. Is it a KW listing? Let's pretend no, it's not. And we wait. And we're in. No. So we have no matches, obviously, because it was nothing there for us to do. Why is it not letting me create the Greensheet?
Yeah, it should have looked like.
Right, it should have started blank.
Is it because
More ID.
is it because you have like a fake account? It's not like an agent's account?
Probably. That could be it. That could be it. Because what it should do is take you to, from the Create a Greensheet here, then it should pop you into as if we had done it this way, and popped us in here. And at this point, everything in here would be blank, okay? It would be a matter of starting here, And this is why I always say it's really wonderful to start and doing it online because it gives you the choices here. If you try to do the paper one, okay, there's no choices there. We'll kind of type, I don't know what it is, and unless you've been doing this for a long time, you won't know. Okay, so residential, commercial, oh, that's what they're looking for. Okay, obviously it's residential. Type down here. Good thing for me to point out to you folks is that because we always submit even our listings, as soon as we take an offer on our listing, you then have to submit that folder to the office as buying, right? Everyone understands that part of it, right? Because it comes in as that buying side, it's gonna automatically say buy or sale. If it's your listing, be my guest, this is where you can switch it back to, no, this is my listing that I sold. And then the pieces would all be treating you as that listing side of it, okay? Because some people are really getting that confusion of, wait a minute, it's my listing, but I put it in as buying, now things are coming up as the buying side, and so it all depends on if you're detail oriented enough that no, I want it to be my listing side, that's where you would change it, okay? Other people are just like, okay, I'm just moving on, where do we go, kind of a thing. So I try to
submit it with the buy or sale.
right, because of it going in
Isn't
as
that
buying.
confusing though? I
You
mean,
know
like,
what, I've never had Becca or anybody say to
Okay.
me, because you're bringing it into yours,
yeah,
I don't know that that is something that they're necessarily looking at,
okay.
kind of a thing. It's probably one of those pieces that it requires, because of the asterisk there, it is requirement, but whether anybody in our office is looking at it. If I were the person looking at it from our office, I'd be like, I don't care. I don't care what that is. I'm looking at, okay, here's the address, because that's what we care about, and here's your commission, and here's what we have, like, here's the sale price, here's the commission, and that kind of stuff. So, if this gets overlooked, I've never had, anybody say to me, Sharon, this is driving us crazy, this is messing us all up. So, I would say that this is the least of our worries in here. Yes, it's a property over here. That's what I love about the drop-down menus, resale in here. I don't care about these two pieces in here. There's the address that we're using for this piece. Again, if you're going in by going just to the Greensheet, you would have to type all of that in. So that's why, again, I really like coming in from the loop side of it. Okay, when it gets to be here at the commission side, so on your notes you can see, for the price commission, all right, you're going to enter the sale price here. I think my example was $450,000. We type that in. Right below that we have percentage or flat. 99% of the time you are going to choose the percentage. Coming over here, putting in your sale commission of 3%. As soon as I clicked out of it, now that is the commission that you're starting with, $13,500. The exception to this would be if you are having seller assist, and it tells you right here in your notes, if there is seller assist on this property and your commission is being paid off of the net, not the gross. Most times it's not done that way, okay? Now, when I first started here 5 years ago, I think more people were doing it where it was being paid off of the net, not the gross. Now I believe it's actually written into the contracts as it's always being paid off the gross, not the net, unless that's being specified, okay? So, that's why I say 99.9% of the time you're doing the percentage right here. The flat rate would only come into play as if you were doing, say there was $10,000 seller assist on here, and now you're basing that commission off of the $440 instead of the $450.
So how do you do that?
So
then?
what you would do is you would do
Calculator.
calculator,
Okay.
okay? Do your commission,
Okay.
figure commission out on calculator, and then input it here as what the flat rate would be. Instead of doing 3% of the $450, or even 3% of changing that to $440, just come in here and put in your flat commission of whatever that your 3% of $440 is. So you're just doing the calculation, and then just put that sale commission in there. At that point, it's also a good reminder, because way down here, the last thing that you get to is notes. In here, you're going to then specify seller assist equals $10,000, and specify the commission is being paid off the net, not the gross. So again, anytime that you can come in here and specify, like point those things out so that things don't get overlooked, be my guest to do that, okay? But as I said, That truly is going to be the exception, not the rule anymore, especially because of the way that it is written on the contracts, that it's pretty much assumed that any seller assist is gonna be paid on the gross, not the net. So, going back to what we do here, we put in our percentage here, okay? Notice I had to click somewhere else, so that's a good reminder too. I had to click somewhere else in order for the calculation to translate over to the gray box over here. Before that, it was just hitting that 3%, okay? It was just 3% sitting there. So we go to the next section. Here you put in your buyer's name, Mr. X. Next section, Mr. Y is our seller. Real creative here. Again, we don't really care about their address. If you have it and you'd like to put it in there so that for quick reference later on, you'd have it all in this one sheet, be our guest and put in there, but we don't really care about it. Next section. This is the most important part of it, okay? And this is the part that is the handout extra legal size paper. What we've done is we've given you an example of what the agent detail section would look like, okay? Great to see that the name, agent's name is not showing up here under Agent A, okay? Sometimes it happens that way. If you're doing it from your loop, chances are 99% of the time, it will be filled in at that point. If it's not showing up, use the magnifying glass over here. I'm trying to think if we are in here as Princess.
You said KW.
Princess Leia, right?
Yeah, it's probably in this layer, huh? Dave, that's because we're not, so Dave, can I use your?
Sure.
There he is, thank you, Dave.
I get paid on this, right? 13.5?
I'll take it.
So it's as simple as finding your name, bringing it over here. And again, anything that is a red box, red wording on the left-hand side with the asterisk needs to be complete. So let's go ahead and do our agent role. We'll make him as the listing specialist here.
What's the difference between that, like lead and buyer, like does
And
that
again,
matter?
I think this is one of those pieces
Okay.
that they don't really care about.
agent.
Okay,
Does it make a difference if you have a team, if that's, so lead agent might
Yeah,
be,
that's maybe when it comes in handy, and that's a great point to bring up here. So if you're the lead agent, sharing with somebody else on your team, the other person on the team has to come in here as agent B, doing the
Right.
same thing,
Right.
search then in. That will come into play down here when we do our units. So for right now, we're just gonna pretend it's just Dave by himself. This is a sale. He has the, well, again, there's that trickiness of the agency.
Yeah, because if you click on listing, then it'll pop up as seller.
Right. So listing specialist.
In the
Oh,
first,
because
in
I
the
didn't,
first,
that's right, because I didn't change it up here, yes. So, and again, that's the part that really kind of throws folks. Okay, so let's do listing sold. Now we come down to agent detail. Now we have our listing specialist. There's the listing part coming in. Agency, you have the seller, and there's your listing units. Now, this is the listing unit part right here. This is also in your notes there. In the agent detail section here, it's 0.3 there, okay? So it's listing or sales unit has to total 1. So if this is just Dave's listing, he's the 1, okay? If Dave happened to be part of a team where he is splitting this with someone, or if you're in the mentor program and you're splitting it with somebody, then it has to total 1. So you would be showing here, the person you're splitting with would be agent B in here. And because we're bringing in that agent B, this one would be 0.75, so that the agent that you're splitting it with, that's the 25%. So like a mentor fee, that's the 25%. The next time it would be 80% and 20%, so 0.8, 0.2, and so on and so on. So they just have to equal 2, to equal 1. If you have 2 people in here, those 2 pieces together, this line over here for agent A, and this line over here for agent B must equal 1.
What about a referral fee?
The referral fee comes down here, outside referral percentage is down
Okay.
here, okay?
Okay.
So that one is completely separate, especially if it's outside of our office. But I believe could be even the place that you put even the inside office one. You wouldn't have to bring in that whole agent. You could certainly do it like that, so it does jump right out to Becca or anybody who's looking at the green sheet that this is agent A in our office, this is agent B in our office. But yes, down here is that outside referral percentage down here if you were sending it to somebody over there, okay?
If you were dual agent, would it then be two, or would you be agent A and agent B?
So let's go back up here, let's check it out. All right, so
Most of
up
it's
here,
the one, I think.
yeah. You'd be doing both listing and sale over here, okay? And let's see how that looks like then in our agent detail. As we come into the agent detail here, okay, you can still be listing specialist, all right? Down here at type, this would be inside, I believe, so that you could be dual in here,
Oh, okay.
all right?
And
Now
then
it's
you
not
don't
letting
have
me do
to-
either one, so let's go back over here to listing, and we do dual, and I was hoping that it was going to be listing unit and sales unit there, both showing up.
Maybe when you
There
type
should
in the
be
one, the
two
next
there.
one.
You think we're putting two in?
Maybe you put two there, because it's two side, I don't know.
No, 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 no.
No, because that's
see-
doing two of the property.
Oh, okay.
It's still one, but the
Well-
other one, see how the sales unit is in red? Like, you would think that's gonna show up somewhere.
Right, that's what I was thinking was going to. So if we bring in Dave over here,
Well, it doesn't matter what you put, because you're gonna get the full commission, so when you enter the 6%.
oh, when we do the,
Right.
right,
Yeah, you
because
can do
that's
the
what it would have been.
6%.
The percentage would have been 6%.
Right.
Gotcha.
That's
instead
what
of
it would
three.
be,
That makes
yes.
sense, that makes sense.
That's where it would be, yes. So again, back here at the commission over here, that's where it's coming in.
So you would do
So we
three
need
and
to do
three.
3 here, that's
Right.
where it was, thank you. 3 and 3 here, we'll do this section, and now when we come in here,
Cool,
let's
now
see
I'm
if
getting
it
27.
does.
This is a good class for you to come to. Damn, I was late.
That's what you get.
So you can see here, it's bringing in the gross commission as being the total commission there that we looked at before. Completely being new here. Again, I'm not liking the fact that it doesn't give us, it's showing us over here and not bringing it there.
Sometimes you have to click out of the, and then come back.
Maybe
Yeah.
as an individual agent instead of a listing specialist? Would that make a difference?
Let's try it. Nope. Because at that point, it's giving us neither one of them. I'm like, okay.
Right, right.
On the rare occasions that this happens, that you do have both,
Mhm.
if it's not showing both there, then I would say, to be sure, come in here and bring yourself in as agent B,
Right.
just so that it is completely explaining, so that nothing gets lost. If you're bringing your name in on this side,
Mhm.
then it would be giving us all the other pieces there.
Right.
Yeah, but then it's gonna ask you for the deductions there too. I don't think it's gonna work if you do that way, you know what I'm saying?
Well,
Because
see
it
how
won't
we
be
got-
able to calculate it for you.
we would, what I would suggest then is make sure you go down the one column for you as the listing, come down the second column for you as the buying to make sure that you get it all in there. Because again, now it's allowing us to do the one over here and the one over there. So now we've got the 13.5 on both sides showing, that 3% showing on both sides. So that the next piece for you to remember to do, the next plus over here, that's where your admin, your broker fee goes in there. Most people do at least $295. Some people have a 300, just to round it up. Some people do across the board $395. Some people, I have no idea. So you're just going to make sure that's where you get, that gets added in. Later on, it gets taken out of them, so you have to add that in. That is the definite one that goes there on the plus side. So that one is two below, or a few little bit, or let's see, 3, 4, 5, 6 point down there.
Shows here.
Your bonus admin of $295, okay? The split to the MC is always 100% to you, all right? And then down here comes your 70-30 split happening here. So let's say that Dave has completely capped, he's really loving this one. And again, I'm just focusing on the listing side, because you could come back down and do the same thing for the buying side if this is your dual.
Will that automatically fill in?
It's filling it over here, but again, not the 100. I had to, oops, where'd it go? Here it is. I'd have to put 100 commission on both sides here. And then it's calculating. You see the calculations are right here, keeping it at the same that it was. Okay? You always have to come down. It never defaults to either one of these for capping on royalty. That's $3,000 per calendar year. Okay? If you're close to reaching that $3,000 and you check that you know you have not capped on royalty, Becca will be able to catch it if that's now that you've capped and now it's going to be 100%
What's
commission to
royalty?
you.
Is that just your, like
The
what you?
royalty fee is $3,000 out of the commission.
Okay,
So that goes, the capping is $21,000 for an individual agent in our office.
so
With
$3,000 per transaction?
No, $3,000 per calendar year. It maxes out at $3,000.
Okay,
So it's 6% of the commission, and it maxes out for the year at $3,000. So if you truly think about it, capping is not really $21,000, it's capping as the office is $24,000, because you have to do $21,000 plus the $3,000.
And the 6% comes off after the split commission, right? So if you're not capped 70-30, then
Let's see
6%
what-
comes off after that, right?
Let's see how it's up here. So we do 70% right here. That brings us down to $9,450.
Oh, it looks like
And-
it didn't change.
And when we have capped on royalty, say no.
So I guess that comes off the top.
Yes. It's gonna take off 810, which brings us down to 8640,
Right.
okay? So I'll leave this one at 100%, 6%, just so we can see the little bit of difference going on there, okay? This pink section down here, if you notice on your notes right there, you should just come down and put 0 in each one of these. This is the CARES section, making a donation to CARES. The difficulty became, why are there 4 spots there? Some of it goes to international, some of it comes to our office. The confusion was, I don't know where to put my donation to our office. So what we've done is we've taken out the need for filling these in with anything other than 0, because what we've actually done is we've put our culture fund donation down here as part of the 4 the designations that you might be using down there. This way we know that if you're putting $5 or $10 or whatever you're putting in there, whatever you're doing there is directly coming to our office. It can't be mistaken of going to international kind of thing. So most people want to give right where we live, and so they want to make sure it comes to our office and not going to international. So this is where you would then put it. So really, yes, it's a big pink box. You have to fill it in, so go ahead and put all the zeros in there. But then you can come down here, and then this is going to be your next big focus down here. If you need to put any other deductions in here, some agents take money out of each of their commissions to pay for going to family reunion. You can put a different deduction up here and, put it in there as family reunion and whatever, you're having taken out of every commission kind of thing. So you can type, and it's a matter of typing here what it is in the box above it and putting in the amount below that.
who holds that money then?
Pardon me?
If someone wanted to take it out, who holds that?
Becca does something with it.
Okay.
No, I'm assuming that you may have,
Like an account or something?
there's an account that they're depositing that money into so that you can, for family reunion. Is
It's
the
in,
way
it's in the Cayman Islands.
Yeah.
We're Switzerland or something,
Don't tell
right?
all of our secrets. Okay, so down here then for the culture donation, let's put in $10 right there. The E&O, this only affects you for your first 4 transactions per calendar year. As part of your expense guidelines, when you join the office, we explained to you that our E&O insurance with the office is $320. We take out $10 per month as part of your monthly fees. That gets us to $120 for the year. So how do we make up the other $200? That would be this. The E&O insurance would be $50 that you have to put on here, but only for your first 4 transactions per calendar year. After those first 4 transactions are done, you then only need to put a 0 in there. You do have to put something in there because, again, since we have it as designated as a pink required box, you have to put something in there. And so on our example, on our page here, we put the $50 in there because we're assuming that this is maybe one of your first 4 transactions there, okay? So that would be the back of the fee there, okay? We have the title fee of $115, which has to occur for every transaction. Right. And of course, the transaction fee is also $50 every transaction, okay? So for this completed side over here, again, we have changed it so that this is person who has not capped yet. They're at 70-30 split. They have not capped on royalty. So for this person, it's $84.15 is what they're looking at as their commission, okay? Again, if this was the dual, you have the buyer as well, then you just come down the B side over here, make sure you're completing everything over here. Same idea. Oh, the other thing I forgot to put in here was the $295, so let's put that in here. And that will then alter what we're doing on this side. So that brings it down to 86.92.30 on that side. So again, over here, starting up here, would there be that same fee happening on the buyer side?
Yeah.
Yeah? All right. So then don't forget to put it in here. If you don't put it in there, it's not going to be done. Okay? We're going to change this back to be our 70 split over here. Of course, this one could have flipped him right over the capping stage, maybe. You never know. But we're going to say no, haven't capped. Again, if you put it in here incorrectly, Becca should be able to pick up on that as she's doing the calculations. She would know whether you've capped or not. Because the idea that the capping section of your agent profile, that updates every month. We don't control that, international controls that. So we've had folks come to us and say, I think I'm really close to capping, but I'm not quite sure whether this one takes me over, whether I've reached that over. And just looking at that profile in the beginning with the wheel telling you how far you are, you know everyone that want to talk your production,
Yeah.
that's the one. That one isn't updated every week or every time you log in. It's done monthly by international, about probably maybe by the 10th. Or the 7th to the 10th of every month kind of thing. So in there would be the updates. So again, if you think you're close and you just go by what you've been doing, you know, Becca would be able to pick up on the fact that yes, you've capped or not capped kind of thing. Again, don't forget to come in here for this side, put all of these zeros in here, otherwise it's going to tell us that we didn't do it, okay? In fact, let's go ahead and leave them blank and let's see how it shows when we've not done them, okay? So let's say you skip doing that. Again, I would say some people are gonna be like, no, I already gave my donation. Let's say that you're at the 4th one here, okay? So maybe side 1 would be the 50. I'd say let's go ahead and put the 0 here for this one. Again, we would still have the 115 on this side, and we'd still have the 50 on this side, okay? So that's why we're seeing a little bit of a difference in between the two things here, all right?
I'm
When
guessing
you-
that you would also catch the E&O if you did that wrong as well, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely. This section over here for the co-broker. Notice how it doesn't require anything here. But I would say, go ahead and put in at least the agent's name, because at least you will, at quick reference, you could remember, say 3 years down the line, you come back to this green sheet in your loop, and you want to say, gosh, what was that agent's name? Rather than have to look through the agreement of sale and all of that, you could just pull up your green sheet right here and boom, it would be right there, okay? So I would say let's go ahead and put in here, Letitia.
You go sides on this one, though?
I designate.
Bear with me. Oh my goodness, getting technical on me,
She's
right?
designated.
Somewhere like.
So down in here in the mortgage section over here, down in the vendor section that we have going on here, notice how nothing is pink in here. But give as much information as you can to our title office. If we can summarize the information for them here, and this way they can just quick reference over there, go ahead and do that for them, okay? So go ahead and put in the mortgage company. There is an extensive list here to look things up. If you're not finding it here, it's because it's very rare. Because I would say look at the extensive list that they have here. So go ahead and put that in there. If you know the loan officer for sure, go ahead and put that in here. What type is it? Closing company, if it's Bucks County Abstract, put BCA in here. You don't really even need to know about the rest of it, you know, they'll know where they are, okay? And then down here for the notes, that would be that, make sure that you put in any kind of seller assist, or if there's a home warranty being done, make sure you kind of point that out so that things don't get lost, okay?
Well, there's a warranty spot
Yes.
under that. And for some reason, every time I have to put in the warranty ID number, it always cuts off the last number. I have to write it in.
Right, so then again, come down here and utilize the notes down here, home warranty is, again, just in case it got overlooked in that one section there, spell the notes out for them right here, you know. If it's a cash deal, you know, kind of put in there, cash deal, no mortgage, you know, whatever you can do to help spell things out for them, just throw it there in your notes section, okay? So let's go ahead and click submit to MCA. We will then hit submit Greensheet. And there is an application error. And if you completely wipe me out,
Because you're not a real agent.
because I'm not a real agent.
Oh, that stinks.
Let's see if it would do this.
Oh no.
Dave knows all the ins and outs. I should have gone in as him.
That's my guess.
Oh, here we go. Yeah. Unfortunately, it didn't save anything for me.
Oh, yeah.
So at this point, if you were the real agent logging in here, at this point, anything that is a red box that is missed, it would come up with a big red box up there that tells you you've missed some pieces here.
Right.
It reminds you to go back. Now, perhaps you just started this and it's really just in the initiating section and, okay, I just wanted to get it started, I'm gonna come back and finish it later on, kind of a thing. You could certainly come back and do that. There is a save for later. The biggest thing I want to point out to you is when we click on that submit to MCA, it is not your last step to do. When you hit submit to MCA, the only person who gets to see that is Becca. But she's not the only one looking at this file. Title will need to get information from this file. Much of it is, if you have it all in there to begin with, the front desk is the one sending it over to them. And the front desk cannot go in and get your Greensheet. So the next thing that you must make sure that you do is you must get it as a PDF and bring it into the loop, okay? You can't assume that you're finished at hitting submit to MCA, okay? So you hit submit to MCA, we're gonna pretend now that it came up and said, instead of being in this status of initiated, it would say partially complete, compliant. That's what we're looking for. A lot of people freak out when they say, well, why is it not, it only says partially complete, why, or partially compliant? What did I miss? What did I miss? That's what we're looking for. You're looking for it to say partially complete or partially compliant at that point. That's all we care about. It means it's been accepted. If you get the red box, it's telling you you missed things, go back and check those things that you may have missed. We just don't want to leave it in the initiated section over here. The other thing is, once you get it to be where it says partially compliant, you're going to come over here to the left-hand side and click Printable View. And again, and if it's yours that you've done correctly, everything would be filled in here. You could scooch down here and have all of this information would all be in here. All filled in for you, all right? At this point, a lot of times the menu will be right up here on the top, okay? It's not showing right now, so I right-click, and there is my print option. Go ahead and print. But instead of printing, you just make sure that over here, all of our workstation computers here at the office have a PDF writer on there. If you don't have one on your computer at home, there are free ones that you can download. Cute PDF writer is the one that pops up into my head right here. If I did want to go and print it, then I could go ahead and here, pick the printer that I really truly wanted to print it to. But since we're doing mostly everything paperless now, there's no need for you to even print it out. Way back then, before we had the PDF writers in here, you'd have to print it out, scan it back into yourself to get it to be a PDF and bring it in that way. Now, as we have it as a save as a PDF, okay, here would be the save, okay. It no longer, if I was in the print mode, we don't have a printer connected to this screen. If there was a printer connected to it, as soon as I click on that save as PDF, where it says save right now, it would have changed from print to save. When I click save, this is where you would just save it onto the computer. And then the next step you need to do, which I'm not gonna do right now, the next thing then you would do would be to come back over here to the dot loop. And as we go back out to our loop, where all of our paperwork is showing, you would just then bring in that PDF. So it would become a matter of add document, and this time we're getting it from the computer, find it on the computer, and bring it into the loop. That's when you're finished doing your green sheet, when you've put it into the loop. Because at this point, anybody who needs to see it is going to have it. Of course, if it's something that title needs to have and you've already submitted your paperwork to title, it is the agent's responsibility to make sure that it goes over to title. You can either share it from here, or you could just send it from an email yourself, from your own email, right over to title for them to have. That is basically it in a nutshell. I need to remind myself that I gotta do this one as an agent, not as the Princess Leia over here. Any other questions that you might have from the green sheet section over here?
Where did you say you find that production wheel? I have no idea.
When?
On your main screen.
Yeah, it's on your main screen in kw.com. I don't have it, but it would be shown right in here, your production. This is where your
And that
circles.
would
It looks
show-
like a speedometer.
Oh, and it will
Yeah.
tell you how much.
And it
you
tells you how much you put into the capping
Oh,
and how much
okay.
you still need, that kind of thing. Yeah, here it
Yeah,
is.
there.
There you go. Cap status. So your anniversary.
Is that what that is?
Your anniversary month comes here. Okay, that's your GCI, what you paid in, what you're remaining to put in.
And that's a calendar
First
year, you
edition
said,
info.
right?
Calendar year. Well, no, your
Right.
anniversary, your anniversary month would show up here. That's for the anniversary.
Capping is.
The royalty is calendar year. The transaction fee is first four transactions calendar year. So I mean the E&O. Sorry, the E&O is first four per calendar year. So it does get a little tricky in that way kind of thing. But yeah, that's where your little wheel is that you're looking at over
When
here.
do you do the green sheet? How soon?
When
As
you
soon
do
as
the
you go
green
under
sheet?
contract, or?
I would say yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
Mhm.
when I submit
Yeah.
the whole thing.
The whole idea is, according to the checklist that we have, the green sheet is part of the gray pieces that title needs to have. And a lot of times people tend to want to hold their file from being submitted until they have all those pieces. Just because this way they don't have to worry about, oh, did I send it? Do I now send it? Did they send it? That kind of thing. All right. I would say my answer to everybody is get it in as soon as possible, because on our instructions that we give you, it really does say within 3 business days that you should be getting these turned into the office. I would almost say, look, if you're not sure whether title got it or not, and you're checking your, over here on the loop, we have our activity log. So if you check your activity log, you can see what has been sent over to
Oh.
them. You would see where it says, I'm trying to think down here, do we have where the front desk would have sent things over? Probably not in this example, but it would indicate in there whether Sam or the front desk or Ruth or Becca or
Right.
somebody had exported these things out and sent them over to title. It would be listed here in your activity log. So if you're not checking your activity log, but you're in a rush and you say, gosh, I don't know whether I sent it to them or not, our thinking is always send it to them. Again, we'd rather for them to get it twice than for not to get it at all. So, and they have said the same thing. We don't care if we get it twice. We'd rather get it twice than for them not to have it submitted at all, and people coming to them a week before going, am I settling next week? What are you talking about? So, when in doubt, send it over to them,
Oh, gosh.
that kind of thing, yeah. So, again, it's really important to be paying attention to the status in the front, if it's still in compliance review, as you're getting closer to a settlement date, if it's still in compliance review, just kind of send an email out. I believe that they're changing them so that they're 2 weeks before what the actual date is, so that they can get them, let the agents know what might be missing in a timely manner kind of thing. But we all know the volume that our office does, and so sometimes, don't wait for them to contact you, you contact them. The other thing is you won't get any kind of a notification if there's nothing missing from your file. If nothing's missing from your file, that's great, but they don't say nothing's missing, this is missing. It's, we only tell you what is missing kind of thing. So, any other questions? Thank you so
Thank
much for
you.
coming today and for bearing with me when my brain was having a brain freeze there and now and again, so Thanks so
Thank you,
much, you
thank
guys have a
you.
great
Thank
day.
you.
Thank you.
Not for rentals.
What's that?
One for
So this
rentals.
week, don't wait
Ah.
until a half hour before
Well,
seven.
that's probably
Fill out
just a
the
whole
green
nother.
sheet.
Yeah, because and honestly, I have to say, I've never done a rental. Because there really is no transaction fee coming out.
Yeah, they're asking
No.
for one, so I'm like, oh wait. It's like, all right, I'll get it.
Yeah.
I'll get it.
So again, I would say that if you're getting down to that last 4 section, that has to be complete, filling in zeros there, because the transaction fee doesn't happen and the.
Yeah, I mean, it's
those
pretty
things.
much, they just wanna know what you're gonna get paid for that
Exactly,
little
they
one.
want it in writing.
that one
rather
time.
than- Yes, exactly, so, yeah, I would say just kinda go down there and just make sure, yeah.
Okay.
everything
Even
matches.
mine was giving me problems when I was putting in the price. It wouldn't fill in the commission on the next page. And
Oh,
Jillian had taken a
really?
look, she said it's because I had commas in there.
Oh, okay. Yeah, see, something as little as that, having a comment in there where it doesn't want it, and I would tell you sometimes too, sometimes it can be one day they like commas, the next day they don't like commas, and that's why, you know, I'm not in the green sheets all that often. So there are certain times when things kick in that I'm like, okay, maybe this has changed since the last time I was in here helping somebody. So Dave and Letitia being here, who are the agents who are in here all the time, you know, Dave kicking in there and saying, it's probably not showing, it didn't save because I'm not an agent, that kind of thing. So I tend to sometimes, you know, kind of think, oh, what did I do wrong when, and thinking that it may have changed, when really it was just that, yes, I keep forgetting, I'm so used to helping
Or it's
agents
just
in
your browser,
their.
or like whatever, like little things.
Exactly, and that's why I say, you know, my browsers are, I usually go Chrome first, Mozilla second, and Internet Explorer only when in desperate dire need. It will even look different in Internet Explorer, but there are some times where if A and B aren't working, you've gotta go with the C route kind of thing. So, but I would say, we even had some issues with, like, in our notes that we send out to folks with how to use the paperwork, we'll say, you know, Mozilla or Chrome. Well, now I've gone to putting a 1 over the Chrome and putting a 2 over Mozilla, just so that they know. I'm a Chrome person, Chrome seems to have the least amount of issues, doesn't mean it's not gonna have any issues kind of thing, so. But
I
yeah,
was
so,
having an issue with logging in to my email.
really.
Thanks, Sharon.
You're welcome, thanks for coming, Cindy,
Good seeing you
I'll see you
guys.
tomorrow.
Don't I get to sign, I forgot when we did the, oh, can you do that too, my
I'll
team
do it.
meeting? Well, that was the big one that we're
And
on,
I'm
and
signing
then
this one here.
Thank you.
You're welcome, dear.
Yeah, like I have my email open in Mozilla and then Lee's email open in Chrome. And then when I went in to log in a couple weeks ago, it said password not recognized, whatever. So then I asked her to
In
change it.
Mozilla or Chrome?
In Chrome.
Okay.
So then I went back and she's like, no, I didn't change it. So I'm like, oh, trying again, nothing. Then I tried it in mine and it worked.
That is crazy.
So I can't get into her email and I don't know what Comcast would even tell me.